Hey AP government people, we have video number 10 for you in our continuing series of the curriculum. This one is on participation in politics. So let's get going. All right, political participation. What is it? It is the different activities and ways individuals engage in politics and policy. So if I were to ask you, how do people participate in politics? You probably would answer with, they vote. And that is correct. That is the most common way, but there are lots of other ways. And there are two major ways that you can participate. And one of them is conventional participation. The other is unconventional participation. So let's start off with conventional participation. It is the traditional ways of influencing government. Examples include voting, campaigning, gathering signatures for petitions, running for office, and donating to candidates. So these are the ways that traditionally throughout American history, people try to influence the government. And out of all these different ways, most Americans only partake in voting as a form of participation. So of this list, most only do the first thing, which is voting. And the number of individuals donating money is increasing in recent years. So this one is going up, the last one, donating to candidates. Let's jump over to unconventional participation. This is the non-traditional method to achieve a goal. And examples include protest, civil disobedience, and even violence. So protests are often covered by the media, and they're done so, they're staged to bring attention to their cause. Civil disobedience, this really dates back to Henry David Thoreau during the Mexican-American War in the 1840s, and this influenced Martin Luther King Jr., played an enormous role in the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s. In Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous writing letter from a Birmingham jail, he justified and argued why he was using civil disobedience, and that he actually had respect for the law by breaking it. This inspired things like sit-ins, which were blacks and whites sitting at all white lunch counters, which inspired bowl-ins, in which blacks and whites would bowl in all white bowling alleys, and then wade-ins, which would be the same thing at beaches or pools. And this saw tremendous success in the civil rights movement. Let's take a closer look at participation. Socioeconomic status and participation. Well, socioeconomic status is really kind of based on one's income. And in general, those that are in a higher socioeconomic status participate more in politics. Now, in the past couple of videos, we've talked about those that vote tend to be more educated, tend to be older, and now we're introducing a third aspect. They tend to be in a higher socioeconomic status. Individuals with higher income are more likely to donate to politicians, and that can help influence policy. And what political theory believes that the wealthy control too much of politics? Think back. This is one of the first videos. Do you remember? Yeah, you do. It's elitism. Very good. Let's talk about race and participation. For the most part, blacks and whites vote in close numbers. In Louisiana, in an election, 60% of whites voted compared to 54% of blacks. Now, with equal levels of education, blacks actually voted more than whites. When it comes to Asian participation, you know this already. And younger Americans vote less often than the elderly, in part because they have a lower political efficacy. That's something we already covered in video number 7. All right, let's do a quick recap. Examples of conventional participation, be able to identify them, as well as examples of unconventional participation. And effects of the following on voter turnout. What is socioeconomic status? How does that affect voter turnout? How does race affect voter turnout? And how does age affect voter turnout as well? Be familiar with them. For test tips, again, be able to identify forms of unconventional participation as well as conventional. Age and voting, what's the correlation between the two? For a free response, how age and education affects voting. This was from a 2009 free response question. All right, guys, so I'll see you back here for the final video in unit number 2. This one is on why citizens differ in their beliefs, and we'll explore topics such as liberals and conservatives. I thank you guys very much for watching. Have a good day.